Well, hey there, how's it going? Today, finally doing the first oil change on Buster. And you're like, wait a minute, what oil change? Didn't you just get it running? Yes, I did. And I know, like, in this video, we're gonna take the first drive together, though I have already put 50 plus miles of break-in time on the new engine before I've recorded this video. As per MAPerformance instructions, they want you to do somewhere around that mileage, change the oil, do 500 miles, change the oil, and then finally you're fully broken in, go have fun. So that's where I'm at now, is we're gonna go ahead and change the oil in Buster and see how everything looks. Hopefully it looks good. And I think the Valvolines held up just fine. I think it was a little too thick with 2050. Maybe not so much now after things broken in, but I ended up thinning it out just a teeny weeny bit with the leftover Mr. Oil I have. But I think otherwise it is fine. And I have 2 more quarts here that I'm gonna blend with this Euro car 540 Castrol Edge, but this will be the new blend for the 500 mile interval with the new FL 400 filter. So I gotta start getting everything together to do the oil change. What I want to do is I'm gonna make sure that there's nothing in here. I'm gonna make sure this is clean and put some rags down in here to trap anything, so if there's any particulates, it'll be trapped and we can take a look. Hopefully that will work. I don't know, but let's go ahead, get Buster up on the ramps here, and start draining the oil. Okay, get that under there. Let's go ahead and slide under here and have a peek at everything, just to make sure that there's no leaks and inspect all of our work. It looks like we have some oil seepage here around the filter housing, which is something I was, that I was afraid of, because I did damage the housing. I tried sealing it up the best I could, but it doesn't look like a very fast leak, a slow leak, so it looks like I'm gonna have to replace that. Thankfully, it's pretty easy to get to under the car here. I can just get to it from here, and I should still have enough room for the torque wrench to torque it down, so I have to figure that out. But I'll show you what I did. But otherwise, I don't see any other wet spots, which is good. Obviously, you don't want that after putting an engine together. And it looks like it's a little wet here. That's transmission fluid right here. That's not even oil. Don't even know why there's transmission fluid here. Maybe there was just a little residual laying behind the converter I never cleaned out. And after it, moving along, it spit itself out of there. But yeah, that's transmission fluid. So I thought I smelled some burning, but otherwise, it don't look like we have any oil leaks, which is more or less what I'm concerned about, and that was one of my biggest concerns, other than the one here on the oil filter housing, which is not a big deal at all, because that's easily fixable. All the important areas that it would be leaking seems to be fine. So I'm gonna have to clean up this, just make sure this transmission fluid doesn't come back, or however it's making its way out in the first place, but that's a problem for another day, I guess. But I got the oil pan lined with rags here, and I'm gonna just let it drain right on in, and hopefully it'll catch any of the particulates that could be in the new oil. Hopefully we don't see much of anything. That's the goal, right? Yes, the car is warmed up. Aside from getting it up on the ramps, I actually finished my driving today, mileage-wise, so everything is as warm as it should be. All right, come on, and all right, yeah, that's looking good. But this oil warm, now that's on my fingers unintentionally, has a super, like, slick feeling to it, so it's actually some solid oil. It sucks you can't, or it's not recommended to run these oils a lot If you still have a catalytic converter, because of the high zinc levels, I guess that can do something and damage them. Oh boy, our pan's not draining. Oh, that's a problem. Good thing I realized that. I just wanted to show you the filter housing real quick and why things aren't looking so good. So first of all, you can see this edge right here is a little messed up. Right here is not flat. And there's two little grooves going almost all the way from the inside to the outside, which are perfect little channels for oil to get through. I had originally smeared some silicone across here to fill in those gaps, and it worked a little bit, but obviously oil was still getting by in other places, so just gonna have to deal with a very minor leak until I get this replaced. But yeah, at least I know it's a small leak, and at least I know where it will be coming from, but there's not much I can do at the moment. You know, it really does suck because I messed up a lot of things struggling with the engine that night. And, you know, as I mentioned, I should have waited, and I didn't, and that's the price I pay. So it is what it is. I just, you know, hope not to do that again. Anywho, let's go ahead and get our new oil filter prepped here. Yeah, looking solid. So use up the rest of our Valvoline here. Oh God, man, I am good at making a mess. Perhaps I should be using two hands for this and not one, but I need a film, man. I ain't got nobody to film my stuff. I'm a one-man band here, man. That's a lot of mans in one sentence. It's a sausage fest. Slap this on the car real quick, then go ahead and fill it up, you know, oil change stuff. Now it's time for the part that can be a little bit of a butt clencher when you're, you know, firing up a new engine for the first time. Is things will start rubbing together and creating a mess. Always, every first engine. Can't get away from it. It's just, you want to minimize how much mess it makes. And, well, let's take a look. Ooh, okay, so you can see some shiny bits right here, but they are very fine. You can see how thick this oil is. So it's keeping everything nice and suspended. That is totally normal on a new engine, and that's why MAPerformance suggests an oil change so soon. Because I am following the directions as close as possible, because God forbid, if there's any issues, I don't want them to completely, you know, discount liability. Oh, well, you didn't do this, so you didn't do that. Oh, no, I did, and I have it all on video, guys. I'm just trying to do everything the right way, because I don't need no more problems. But oil change is all done. I guess we can fire up Buster and go for the first drive together, because we haven't been. And we'll take a nice cruise. I still got to be easy on it. Can't get on it yet. But we can go take a nice cruise to the car wash, because I just got to blast some of this stuff off. I mean, this thing's nasty. So, I mean, it's just got a thick layer of dirt that I just don't even feel like hand washing. So we'll just go pressure wash as much as we can off of it, especially up underneath. It's really grody under there. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get in the car and head to the car wash. So, like I said, I still gotta take it easy. I'm not supposed to get in the boost yet or anything. Or, I'm not supposed to get in the full boost. Like it says you can go up to like 10 PSI or something like that, but nothing crazy. Honestly, I'm kind of afraid when the time's right. I'm kind of afraid to get in the boost, because the last time I got in the boost, that's when all this started. So, but yeah, first drive together back in the Mustang here. I tell you, there isn't quite an anxiety like the anxiety you get after the first drive, after the first engine startup of a rebuilt engine that you've done yourself. Like, I know the car is running and driving, and I've been driving it, and it seems fine, but I'm still just full of anxiety because, you know, who knows what could happen. And sadly, because of what's happened, I'm not sure if I'm ever going to trust the car again. Like, it's kind of going to take the joy out of it for me until I know, once I get in the boost, that things will be okay. I think I just got to get to that point and be able to trust the car again, because as of now, I do not. Like, even if I was allowed to get into boost right now, not to say anything's stopping me, but, you know, obviously I'm following in braking procedures, but if I were to do it right now, I would still hesitate, because I don't know what's going to happen. Because last time I got in boost, and I told you the story. Let me put the windows up here. It's probably getting a little noisy. And I've told you the story. I rolled into third gear, drag strip mode, third gear. As soon as boost came in, there was this horrible noise, and then that was it. The engine cut out. I am so afraid for that to happen again. I still don't know what happened. I don't know if the engine finally gave up from just, you know, being faulty. You know, if that was detonation, if the detonation just took care of the faulty, I don't know. Obviously, there were signs of potential detonation, potential faulty engine. There were so many, like, red flags that it was hard to really pinpoint which one was the issue. So it's, yeah, it's tough. And sadly, all the money I've spent, which sooner or later I'll make a video going over, tallying up all of the expenses I've made on this rebuild and what it's cost me, so you have a realistic expectation if you ever have to do this yourself. I know it's really no less or more. It would be about what the same as if I paid the Ford dealership to do it, to put another factory engine back in. It would be about the same, I'm pretty sure. Any which way I sliced it, whether I paid someone to do it, whether I, repaired the original block and redid all the pistons and stuff myself, it was all gonna be about the same. And I'm talking about a slight variance, maybe a couple $100 within each other. We weren't talking about a huge difference between either of the options, which is why I chose the option I did, because this option gave me the best combination of parts for future-proofing the car and making sure it's going to built to last for the same amount of money. I just don't want to have to do this again. No one would want to have to do this again. It was tough. As I've said before, if this was just a, project car sitting on the side, it wasn't have a car loan on it and all that good stuff, and it didn't hinder my ability to travel to work and other things, maybe not that much of a big deal, but it was a huge deal. So just the fact that it's running and driving again, man, makes the world a whole lot better place for me. It really does. Even if I can't get on it, even if I can't get all crazy with acceleration and whatnot, even if I'm not at my 500 wheel horsepower, just being able to drive the car again makes a world of difference. It really does. Because there really isn't a freedom like this one. There isn't. This is just one of those freedoms that's hard to live without when you have it. So God bless America for that, yeah. To be able to drive whatever you want, travel around. Because I tell you, when you ain't got your own transportation, life is a whole lot different than when you do got it. So, yeah, I take the good with the bad. So, 500 miles on the break-in, but hey, it's running pretty solid, man. Like I said, I can't get into it, but I can let the RPMs go up. I just can't get in the boost. Oh, mind you, do you notice how fast it shifts? Now, look at that. See how fast that is? It's not as lethargic now with the shifts, and I'm suspecting that has a lot to do with the balance shaft delete on this engine. Not having all of that rotational mass, I gotta weigh that thing. That thing's heavy. On the stock engine, the engine was spinning around a lot of weight. It really has made a difference not having an extra rotational weight within the engine itself, the shifts are so much more quick and snappy. I've noticed that, and that's just part throttle. And the thing is, the car really doesn't shake that much more than it did with the original and the other engine. There's a little bit more, you know, vibrations, but it's a Mustang. I expect that. Like, I honestly love the fact that there's a little bit more feeling to the car now. And I just, you know, it sucks that Ford put that in that engine. And I understand, like, obviously for an auto manufacturer, you want to reduce your NVH and all that, but this is a sport car. You're supposed to have NVH. That's what this car is about. And, you know, the sad part is they're not going to, you know, redesign the 2.3 without the balance shaft to put specifically in the Mustang. They're not going to do it. So it would cost them way too much money when they could put the same engine in the Mustang, change the tune to match the Mustang's driving characteristics or what they feel like it should be, and call it a day, and use that same engine and whatever else they stuff it in. But I honestly prefer the fact so far with my initial driving, prefer the fact that it does not have the balance shaft. I honestly see better characteristics from the engine. It seems to be more snappy, more lively, not having to spin those balance shafts. I'd really be curious how fast it shifts at wide open throttle, especially when you get past third gear and you get in those closer ratio gears for the 10-speed. I would really be curious how snappy it is. If all goes well down the line, I have other modifications in mind that also reduce rotational mass, so shifts would even be snappier. But anywho, we're almost at the car wash here, so go ahead and get over here and start cleaning the car up. Oh, Buster is all nice and about as clean as it's going to get right now. Alright, cool. Let's see. All the blow-off noises. Now, I have noticed the trans is a little bit jerky. I don't think it's the normal 10R80 jerkiness. I think it has something to do either with I didn't put enough fluid back in it. Hey, that wasn't very nice. Florida drivers, they do what they want. But anyway, yeah, so the first drive, first oil change, first car wash. A lot of firsts in this video, guys. So, you know, hopefully Buster stays operable. Sure hope so. Gotta keep an eye on it, and of course, you know, we'll keep working along. I gotta fix up a few things of, you know, obviously the things I messed up on. But I'm not gonna bore that with content because that's just boring. I think that's gonna wrap it up here for the video. Just want to kind of give an update on the after startup video, and that's what this was. So until the next video, whatever that's gonna be, it's gonna wrap it up here. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with everyone you know. You want to see more content like this and you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Keep looking out for next Karz Kreated video.